only see me as a friend. My heart refuses to accept you only see me as a friend. My heart refuses to accept you only see me as a friend. My heart.
Like having fun with music and don't take it too seriously.
Hi, and welcome to VUTV. We have a very exciting panel here. I am Professor Abhi Acharya, and joining me here is Professor Pranjali Tare. We both represent the True School of Music, and we have some really special guests with us, all the way from Germany. We have this incredible ensemble of musicians. They call themselves Phantom Harmonics, and they blend jazz, Western classical, pop, and all these really incredible and interesting styles of music, and make some cool sound experimentations out of them, as they've sort of described it themselves. And we're very happy to have them here because they're going to be doing an incredible performance masterclass for the VU students here.
So first of all, thanks a lot for having us, and thanks a lot for this wonderful introduction. And yeah, as I said, we are Phantom Harmonics, and my name is Srijan Srivastav. I'm the band leader, pianist and composer for the band. And I'll just hand the mic over to my band members to let them introduce themselves from here onwards.
Yeah, hello. My name is Joel Korva. I'm the drummer of the band, and I'm also very excited to be here. And yeah, thanks for having us.
I'm Anina Batz and I'm the singer of the band. And of course, I'm also excited to be here. And I think
Yeah, my name is Noah Weber. I'm the guitarist of the band, and yeah, also from me, thank you very much for having us.
Hello, my name is Daniel Morris. I played the electric bass in the band, and I'm really happy to be here with you.
All right, thank you so much, guys. So before we actually talk a bit more about your music philosophy, I believe you had a really cool session with Professor Pranjali, in her class yesterday. So I'd like to have Professor Pranjali's thoughts on how important it is to have sort of a background in either classical, or some sort of a tradition in music, and then we can kind of just take it from there. Professor Pranjali.
Sure, thank you, Abhi. Welcome to VU again from my side. I know we had a great session yesterday. I mean, I also had pleasure in that session again. But discussing about your experimental music and jazz journey, can we talk about the importance and impact of the classical training behind it when you experiment and blend various genres and make it Phantom Harmonics what it is?
Okay, thank you, Srijan, for talking about the influences on rhythm. And I think when it comes to, or what I heard yesterday was, for me, there can also be a strong influence when it comes to singing or the tone of the voice, which to me was very characteristic, because it's a very different tone to what we hear in Western music, and also blending or sliding two notes or sliding with the voice gave such a unique sound to the music that I think that could be something that could enrich also our music with experimenting in that field. And also the modal, playing in modes, really diving into one mode, was something that I find is very interesting. There is also there was a very strong modal jazz phase in the late 50s, 60s, where in the jazz music it came back from more of a functional harmony going through chord changes in the bebop era to going more into modal music, which I think the most famous would be So What from Miles Davis, where they really play in actually only two modes for the entire song. And I think that I see some similarities to the Indian classical music, where you really dive into one mode sometimes and have this certain melodies that work well. So when it comes to improvising on modal music, I think there's things you could blend together. So yeah, maybe we can try something out.
Yeah, and I would like to add, I also want to check out like this Indian classical singing. I was like really inspired yesterday, and also from this band practice we visited. Yes, the ensemble practice. Yeah, I really liked the songs they were playing, and I was like really inspired to hear like more of that, and like just take some of the stuff and put it in my improvising or something, because I really loved also the bending of the notes and stuff. And yeah, I can really imagine putting some of this stuff in my music, in our music. Yeah.
One thing I would like to add was that in jazz, I think we can really take this from the Indian classical scene, that or the theory and the music behind it, the rules, like how to make a mode sound good. Because in jazz we always experiment with a lot of modes, and we are always like, we have this artistic freedom, which is good, but I think we should also have this limitation, like for example like the Aro and Avro, like the ascending and descending of it. And if we have those rules, then we know how to make a mode sound good, like, and we are doing it on purpose then with some intention. So I think that if that is like more popularized, I think that would be like really cool. Like,
So if I may add to it,
Yes.
like all three of you have been saying about the mode thing.
yeah,
So just for our audience also, we sang yesterday was Khamaj, Third Khamaj, which is Mixolydian. And what you're talking about, the artistic freedom is there, but there's a canvas for it. So modal singing or rag singing brings a canvas, but you're given, like, I like to use an analogy like, you're given a plain canvas and you're given some crayons, not all of them from the box, but a few crayons. And you're given a theme, and then you paint the picture with using just those crayons and based on those themes. So it's like creativity inside a framework, and we get pushed more actually to create it. And the thing that you were also talking about, to dive into the thought, and you also loved those songs which were framed into like or related to some of the mode or the rags. Srijan.
yeah. I mean that was it what I wanted to say actually, and I think
Coming to Vijaybhoomi University, this is a music school where we're trying to like blend all these things together. Like also talking to the students, what has been your experience here? With the students and like sort of being in the classes.
Just one thing to add, you could also add your other journeys in other like dealing with the student audiences that you have, and what has been their responses to the music. Yeah, you could, like Vijaybhoomi and your other like touring experience together. Yeah.
I mean, I can talk about my experience. So for me personally, it's also the first time for me being outside of Europe, and then also it's the first time coming to India. So I think there were a lot of impressions like getting to me when I was arriving, driving here. And yeah, when we finally arrived, I really have to say it's a beautiful place. Really special. Also, like for me personally, I really like the landscape and the mountains and stuff. I've never seen like this kind of mountains, so yeah, it's really nice. And with the students, I feel it's also nice. You can have a talk. They're very kind, friendly. And when we were in the ensemble class, after that we also had some talk with some of the students, also about music and what they like, what we like. And it was interesting to see how that already different genres appeared there. One thing was like a kind of a rock metal, prog metal, math rock stuff that was coming up in the conversation, and some bands, some metal bands that I listened to when I was younger. So it was nice to see there actually musical similarities in interests also. So it was really nice. And then seeing in the ensemble like the music that is performed, and then I think I could hear that people here have a different musical background in the way they approach, especially singing, and also playing the instruments. It was really nice to see, okay, the music is kind of from a groove perspective, and from the harmony, it's kind of relatable, similar, you've heard it, but the whole sound, how it sounded, especially from the voice, was just different. That's was nice to see, and to I think you can learn something about your own perspective, where you come from musically, like in comparison. So a good experience, I would say.
Okay. I don't know if I have that much to add, but I thought it was like really funny talking to the students after this ensemble practice, that we also have like similarities in studying music, in how we jam and stuff, and how it is like to study music, and that it isn't that much difference, even though we are from Europe and they are living here. And I also like talking to other people here. They were so open-minded and so friendly, and I thought it was really nice.
But I would say, like, when we were in your class, one point that was really exciting, and then I think we all really liked, was this sharing of terminologies, like translating these terms, like okay, tivra is like sharp, and like komal is flat, okay, like this more, and you said mixolydian, and we were translating these terms, and we were like, oh, that's such a nice exchange, and the students were so open to us, and they were so welcoming, and they were excited as well. So the vibe here is, I really like the vibe. The students, like, I talked with them afterwards, after your classes and after the ensemble practices, and they were like really excited.
I really like the whole vibe of the university, and I think the people are also really nice, really open-minded. It's nice to see how they're all so enthusiastic about music and exchanging about music. And yeah, like you all already said, there was like some people who are into like math rock and prog rock stuff, which is also something I'm personally really into. So that's it was nice to see how those similarities are here. Yeah.
For me, it's also been a great experience. Also, I think this place is beautiful. It's like, it must be really great to, I mean, since you are a bit outside of the city, you can like concentrate on the things you have to do without thinking about other things. Yesterday, I was talking with the students like after dinner, and they were really welcoming in letting me go into the practice rooms and hear what they were doing. And it was such a nice talk I had with them. So it's nice here. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Thank you so much for sharing such nice. So I'm pretty sure the students are going to appreciate it. And speaking of Professor Pranjali, what do you think was it like for you? Like the session that like you took, how was it? How were these guys within the session? I heard that there were some lessons that were exchanged.
Okay. I have some words. So, firstly, I would like to address this point, which everyone mentioned, which is actually true here, because in True School of Music, we have, apart from Indian music, we have Western music, Western vocals, all the other instruments like piano, drums, bass, guitar. So our performances over here is a full myriad of these genres together. So there are Hindustani performances, there are contemporary, there are fusions, and there are only instrumentals. So all of these happening. So probably that is the basic vibe of True School of Music Vijaybhoomi, that students are open-minded, and that we also always try to keep. Coming to the yesterday's session, as I said, it was really pleasure for me also, because for a vocalist, for a teacher, it's always great to sing with who are interested to do it, So you all were so into it, you so immersed into it. Probably that was my pleasure to see. Teaching is one thing. We could exchange. I also spoke with her that you please teach me some jazz. Right. So that's an exchange. So, but with fellow open-mindedness, like that we are open to each other's music. So that inclusivity also felt from all of them, and they were actually singing. Khelo na hum sanga hori sham tum, right? So rag days, they all sang and they all were pronouncing it and singing it. It was very nice. So all of them are very good students, I can say it. We spoke about the notes, as he said that komal knee. So what is komal knee? And then there are both the knees in rag days. So we discussed about the natural, the shuddha knee, komal knee, and other words as well. So I can definitely say that their attitude towards taking music, it was very inspiring, and our students also felt that. So that was also very great for our students to see you all, and everybody was sitting on the ground the way Indian classes happen, so they were so like humble to sit on the ground, and we were singing. So our students definitely took some inspiration from all of you, definitely.
I would also like to extend a thanks to all of you guys. I'm sure like the students here are like really going to be inspired by your presence in these classes and obviously your masterclass. And so I would just like to ask one last question for the students. One advice from each of you for them to become the kind of musicians that they want to become. Anything.
I mean, I can speak personally. I'm really into practicing, and I'm really into...
That's great. That's amazing.
And I'm really into technique and checking things out, like on the drums, going for rudiments, going for different grooves, trying to figure out different sounds, listening to music, trying to figure out how it works. So my advice would be to always keep practicing and to dive deep into like the music or the genres that you really like at the moment, to search for recordings, to search for artists that you like, listen to the music deeply, and really trying to first copy and see how the music works, and then as a second step try to bring it into your own playing and play with it. Yeah. And always keep practicing.
Okay, for me it's quite different. I would say my advice is to search for people who are on the same journey and play like really a lot with other people and jam and improvising and making like stupid things and fun with music, like having fun with it, because I personally learned like the most in playing with other people and adapting what they can do, and when they are like welcoming and giving me the feeling that I can do things, then I always learn stuff from other people, from these guys too. So like always search for other people, always play with other people, and like having fun with music, and don't take it too seriously.
I think that was a very good point that Anina added at the end, like having fun with music and not taking it too seriously. And I think that's the motto that my idol Jacob Collier follows as well. Like, I'm such a big fan of that genius. Like, I always talk about him all the time. They are bored with this topic now by band members, but I'm like, because like when you see Jacob Collier, like he's always having fun. He has always this curiosity mind, and like he has explored like not only like I think every possible instrument, but every possible genre as well. Maybe he's not like has mastered that, but like he has gone to a very professional level, like in all the instruments, in all the genres. Like I even like found out that he can even play tabla as well, which was like mind blowing. But like now personally speaking on my level, like when I first went to Germany to study music, I started with Western classical piano, and I did that for 3 semesters before I switched to jazz. And the reason I switched to jazz was because when I was practicing, because when you practice, like I think any sort of classical music, whether it's Western Indian or even Persian classical music, you have to be in this sort of discipline and in this sort of isolation that, okay, I need to be alone to practice. And I think you need to be alone a bit to practice. But you have to also like play with other musicians, as Anina said. That's like a very important thing. And I think in Indian classical music compared to Western classical music, it's a bit better because you still have that room for improvisation and room for listening what other people are doing. But in my experience in the Western classical music, because everything is so written out for you that you're not focusing on the creativity, but on the interpretation more. And then for me, like speaking of Western classical, yeah. So for me, it kind of limited my mind. And at the same time, because in our university we have 3 departments: jazz, pop, and Western classical. So I just went into some like ensembles of jazz, and I was seeing, wow, they're having so much fun. And at that time, like, improvisation was such a new concept to me, and I was like, how can they improvise something on the spot? Like, how can you even practice improvisation? You know, like, how does that work? And that like made me like go into this genre, like, and I've also so noticed that for every genre the practice is a bit different, like, because for classical piano specifically, like Western classical piano, like, you practice it very differently than you practice jazz piano. And I think that's for every instrument as well, in each and every genre. So I think, of course, you should, as said again to the point, like, have fun with it, have this curiosity, take it seriously, of course, but don't take it too seriously as well at the same time. And like, be open-minded for other genres, because sometimes I feel when we are at a university level, and like when we are like, we have one major, or we are exploring one genre, sometimes we are too narrow-minded that, okay, this is the thing I'm doing, and which is good. I think you should have one main thing, but you should still be open-minded and like listening what's happening around you. So that's my thing.
Yeah, I think the others have already said like a lot, and I would pretty much just repeat most of that. That's really good advice already. Just immerse yourself in the music you love. Immerse yourself in the artists that you really enjoy. Really dive deep, learn all that you can from them. And yeah, of course, just play with a lot of people, play with others, and try to play with people who are better than you. That is something I would always say. Try to play with people who you can learn something from, who can teach you something. And yeah, of course, always stay practicing.
I think you have to trust yourself and trust what you're doing. Not everybody has the opportunity to study music, so it's a great chance in life. And I think you have to be grateful that you can do it, and you have to enjoy it. Yeah, and trust your teachers as well. Yeah, I think that's a good advice. No, seriously, because I keep hearing like people complaining about that, but the more I trust them, the more I learn somehow. Yeah.
No, thank you so much. I think that was all very good, important, essential advice for all the students. Professor Pranjali, any advice you want to give?
I was going to ask you. Please go ahead. Yeah.
No, I would also just kind of echo what Morris said, but also will say that like staying true to yourself, I guess is probably the most important thing. You are your best critic, and you are also the most important motivator in your life. And also, it's super important to stay true to yourself, so that you know what it is that you want to do, like later on, like in music or really anything in life. So I think if you can like be like honest about what you want in life and in music, it's going to really help you have a much better, smoother journey, smoother music career as well. So yeah, that's probably the only thing I would add to that. So.
Well, of course, everybody has said so many beautiful and apt things. For me, music also along with me having fun, if it gives something to my audience, that would be great. So again, like all these points, it cannot happen without practice. It cannot happen without curiosity. It cannot happen without being broad-minded. It cannot happen without being like trusting yourself and being honest to your music. So yeah, that's the whole summing up of it, that it is for my joy, and if it can give something to my audience as well.
All right, so I think we have reached the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for being an incredible guest and for giving like super important essential knowledge to our students here. Everyone is looking forward to your masterclass, and it's going to be awesome.
So thank you so much again.